We go. Okay, carry on, my love. We're
All
back
right. Okay, so we're
online.
talking about messages from our emotions. So the
Yes.
way I look at emotions is that they're sending you a message. And
Yeah.
then you get to choose what you want to do with the message.
Right.
So there are times when I feel anxious about my teenagers driving, and I'm like, okay, I feel that anxiety. It's cool. They're fine. They took driving lessons. They did the whole thing. They passed. The state said these children can drive.
Right.
They will be fine. Or sometimes I tell myself, they've been driving for a year now, honey. We're okay.
We're okay.
They can go. And so I take that message and I just say, okay, thanks message, and I toss it. So you don't have to like stuff your emotions. You don't have to repress them. You don't have to reject them. And you don't either have to wholesale embrace them on a wholesale level either.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
You can actually say, what is this emotion telling me, and what do I want to do about it?
Right. And I think this is a really important point where we want to go into like thinking about your decision to continue market and selling and how your thought process was around it, because we can both support our cause, support what's going on, feel angry about what's going on in the world, take action towards it, not just be like, I don't know what to do. Like really decide that you're going to be proactive. This is like at least I can speak from my own experience. The way that I have processed this is like disbelief, anger. I can't believe what's going on. Like, is this actually happening? Oh my God. And then I'm a proactive kind of person. Like I'm an action taker. And so for me, it's like, okay, how can I help? Like, what can I do to make it, to support? And I've like immediately, like Thursday, donated to a different, like all these different places. And so it's my way of responding. But for everyone watching, you probably have a different way of responding. But what's important is that you understand that you're not at the effect of your emotions. That is, you are completely, they're yours. You're choosing them, and then you get to decide, okay, now what do I want to do about this? Like, how do I want to use this for the result that I want? Like in my case, I want justice. I want this to not happen again. I'm going to do what I know I can, what that's within my power to take action and do something, right? Because there are many ways to think about this, that we have no power, and it's like it's such a big problem. There's no power that we have over this, and that is not true. That's when we lose our power and we think that we're just at the effect of everything. There are so many ways we can help, and so that's from the cause piece, right? Like you went out and you were, in protesting, you were walking, right?
Yeah,
this is like last week you were doing something, and then you also came back to like, okay, and where's my business? Because that's also happening.
Right. And I actually did both at the same time early on. So like right at the beginning, because I was right at the beginning of, the beginning stages. I had actually started posting the posts that would create like the buzz around my launch.
Right. You're in the middle of it. Oh my God.
The day. I think it was that weekend. I think I was on the third day of those early posts. And so this happened, and immediately I was like, wait, what am I going to do? Because I was like, oh my goodness, I just cleaned my feed is going to be filled with these things. If I post what I'm thinking, it's just going to fill up my feed. And how do I post this and post about my business? How do I invite people to learn about dating at the same time in the middle of all of this? And so the first thing I did was I took my emotions from the problem. I said, what do I want to do about it? And I said, I want justice. I want justice to be done. Right. And I said, I want to speak up authentically, because I've done a lot of that behind the scenes. But I was like, I actually have a platform now.
Yeah, you do.
I want to use it, and it belongs to me. And I want to use it for what I believe in. Yeah. So I had already made that decision. And just like you, I went out and I made donations to certain causes that I had been supporting. I was just like, where can I do something? And I was just like, I went and made certain donations in certain places. I talked, I did some things behind the scenes, and then I said, what do I want to do on my platform? And of course, initially my thought was, oh my God, that's the end of my launch. Like, if I'm going to market, if I'm going to support this cause publicly and speak up, I have to put my launch off. That was my first thought. And I was like, no, there's nothing that says I can't launch and speak up. And I said, if anything else, that just makes my clients see who I really am.
Amen.
And then that way you can decide if I am the relationship coach for you. Because you're going to find out anyway. Your clients will always see who you are. Who you are always comes out. And I said, well, this is who I am. And I'm not hurting anybody. I am simply speaking the truth as I see it. And that's what I decided to do. I said, I'm going to post what I believe in and call for justice and I'm going to market my business at the same time. And I did both. And I just kept posting everything that needed to be posted.
Yeah.
And then I went and marched, and we posted pictures, and we posted a live and videos from the march. And I was so proud of that moment. So proud. Because I always thought to myself, if Martin Luther King was alive now, would I be one of those people fighting?
Yeah.
Would I be one of those people going out there? And I'd always wondered that over the years, and this time I was like, I had an opportunity. I went, my husband went, my kids went, and I was like, we did it. We are one of those people.
I love that.
I mean, of course it was different. It wasn't,
totally,
we didn't get arrested or anything.
Totally. less eventful for you, at least. Lots of people having eventful protests at this point, but you participated in the way you wanted, so I love that. Yes. And continue to shop for your business. So I want to ask you a question, because I think this is very relevant to everybody who's watching, who will be watching, and for people who may never watch, but it's happening out there. What do you think about we shouldn't be selling right now?
I think you should be selling. People are going to work. If this is your job, you should continue doing your job. And I can't speak for you. I can't speak for people, but I've everyone else is showing up on their day job, even in the middle of this. So it's really just a thought that as a coach, you can't show up for your job in the middle of this. How is that different?
Oh, girl, you are just absolutely blowing my mind. Yeah, and Rachel says it's such a wonderful conversation to have.
See what I'm saying? People still need help. Like one of the conversations I had with one of my girlfriends was, I don't expect people to show up the same way. There are mothers who have children with special needs. I will never expect a mother with a child with special needs to participate in a call for justice the way that I do. Right? So every need that is out there is still out there, even in the middle of this.
Totally.
Right? And so I don't know that I agree that people shouldn't sell or that they shouldn't serve the world the way they've always served the world. I think people who maybe feel like they shouldn't sell are trying to deal with a symptom in their lives. There is a potential that you have not been supportive of a cause you should have been supportive of. I'm just saying potential. Potential.
Okay. All right. We're just gonna say potential. All right.
There's a potential that you're realizing, I am on the wrong side of history here.
So we're going to go onto like the other pendulum of the other extreme of the pendulum and be like, oh no, it's all right. Yeah. It's like, and that's, it's like, but my thought is like, is it sustainable for us to do that now? And is it really the most beneficial decision we can make for the world, for the world, for the Black community, for all of the community, like for the economy, for us, like for you, like for, it's like, Is it the best decision we can make for our industry, for like who we are? Like maybe it's not the most supportive one, because is it? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like when you think about it long term.
Think about is you're not selling helping with the actual cause?
Say that again. Wait, I missed it. I was reading.
So say I'm a coach and I don't sell.
Yeah.
Does that actually help the call for justice and the call for racial equality?
That's exactly what I was trying to explain. It's like, is it one, like, wait, how is that, I understand there is definitely, like, I mean, I'm all about elevating the voices of people of color, of Black women, and all of that. I think is super important. And I also believe that it is important for us to support that, what was actually going to make a difference, which is call for justice. Like, what are we doing for that? And that is, I think, what makes the biggest difference in my book. And now there's no playbook for what we're going through, by the way. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, to be honest. Like, nobody. Social justice is like, there's no rule book. There's just, is messy. And so one of the things that I think about is like, how do I want to have this be something that I always talk about, always do? And it's something that I have been doing. Like, I have been donating to causes, Black Lives Matter, and different types of causes for much longer in Colombia, because I'm Colombian, I'm Latin American, and so there's different ways that I've been doing it. And it's a calling to do more of it, but also think about how this can just be part of your life. It's not like a couple of weeks.
That is so much more. That is so important. And,
right?
And So I don't want to step on any toes.
Okay. You probably will, but this is what we're doing.
If you're doing it out of guilt, like,
yes,
there are a lot of people who have reached out and have wanted certain things and have wanted to promote certain things, and I'm like, well, where were you last week? Or last month? And I get that you're trying to help now, but like, make it a part of your life.
Amen.
Make supporting African Americans a part of your life. Just make it a part of your life. Look at your team. Look at who you buy from.
Yeah.
When was the last time you supported a Black business?
Yeah. Exactly.
So it needs to be, for there to be real change, it needs to be a lifestyle.
Amen.
Like, blacking out your sales pitch for 1 week is nice, but I don't know how much that does.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's not really the sustainable approach to actually getting something, having something change. I want to offer something that I watched on IGTV that one of my clients shared from somebody who explained, like, how can you be inclusive, and what was the other one? But like inclusive. Anyway, the difference is, like, all these people are trying to get, like, Black coaches or Black people on their platforms, and like, hey, it's like this new thing, like what you were saying, like the token-ish, like it's like a token. And what is the difference, because I think some white people probably think I'm doing the right thing by bringing you on my platform. They think that is the right approach. And so I was like, okay, well, what is the difference, so that people who are watching this know? And what she explained that I thought was very interesting is, like, bring Black people on your platforms to talk about their expertise, not necessarily just like all of the causes and like the history. Like, what about what they know? What about their business? What about, like, yes, their experience, what's going on, but like their expertise, like what they're experts at, how can they help people, so that it's like, it's not just putting them on like, oh, tell us about your experience, like, out there. It's like, no, teach us, bring us the knowledge. And I thought that was such a beautiful perspective, because it's like, I feel like I was like, I'm curious to hear. I was just curious to understand, like, what the distinction is. And so I thought that was powerful for anyone who wants to know the difference. And my link to the video, which I thought was super helpful, and she was like really calm in the way that she was explaining it, was super helpful. So I just wanted to drop that in there. So, I want to hear from you as we are talking about the marketing and the selling. Like, for people who are watching, they're probably thinking, okay, like, but what do you say, or like, how do you approach it? And by no means I'm not saying you have to be an expert at this, because like I'm coaching you on it. Also, like, this is why you hired me again, actually. But I do think that there's so much power in the way that you are choosing to handle it, and you already know so much of how you decide to handle it. Like, how would you suggest for people who want to continue doing, marketing and selling in a way that's sensitive? And like, what if they deal with like backlash or like, you shouldn't be doing that right now, which I think we talked before our call. Know who you are. So let's talk a little bit about that.
All right. So people who want to be sensitive to what's going on right now, there's no being sensitive. There's no, like, a lot of what people are looking for is the wording. How do I word this so that I appear sensitive? What you need to actually do is become sensitive to the issue. Like, when you are sensitive and you have integrated the issue into your heart, into your mind, and you've integrated like the love and the empathy, then it just comes out. So that it's authentic. It's actually a part of you. It's not a message that you're sending out.
Oh, because
people can smell that BS a mile away.
Right.
And so a lot of people are trying to become sensitive so that they can ride the wave, they can be in the right spot at this right time. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that. For some people, this is just you're like too late to the game of sensitivity if you're trying to be sensitive this week. You can't cultivate true sensitivity to the Black experience in 1 week. So I just encourage those people in love to just say, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm literally going to have to go figure this out. Right? And don't try to ride the wave of sensitivity. And I don't know what that's going to look like for you. There was a coach who came out and he just said, I have African-American grandchildren. I've loved them, but I realize I don't understand this scenario. And so I'm not going to be able to speak on this at this time. And I don't feel sorry for him in a sense. I think it's sad that he, has gone this long without understanding it. But at least he was humble enough and honest enough to say, I just really don't know what to say. And and that is kind of like a black mark because, you kind of should. But if you don't, then be honest and admit that. But don't try to then say, I want to learn how to support you today so that I can support you tomorrow, so that I can make sure that during the George Floyd thing, I was right. It's still very self-serving. And I hate to put it that way. It's self-serving in the sense that the goal isn't necessarily for some people to be supportive. The goal is to appear to be supportive. So there are those people. And then there are the people who, so I would just say, go inward and say, what's going on with me? It just has to come from, nobody from the outside is going to be able to tell you how to do it right, because if it's not authentic, it's not right. Yeah. And only you know when it's authentic. So if you come out and you say something and there's a backlash, then, you've got to own that. You have to evaluate that for yourself. Why is there a backlash? Is it true that I'm being insensitive? Is it true that I don't understand? Go and figure it out. Go and read something. There's a lot of people are putting out really good material and really good books and really good, here's what our friends of other colors and other, ethnicities can do to help, and read those and actually sit down and process it. But don't do a 2-hour crash course and then try to spin and, don't try to spin it so that you can, I don't know what and that's not an experience that I have.
Okay.
So
totally.
I'm just going to try to say, be authentic. And however long it takes you to get to being authentic is how long it takes for you.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for sharing that. Something that I want to offer that I have been, coaching my clients on as it relates to this. And I just have to say, my clients have just been such a powerful mindset around how they want to show up and in a proactive way. And what I want to be a voice to is for those of you who are watching and you're seeing so much noise on social media and there's so much right or wrong, good or bad. And for those of you who have it in your heart, you're like, I know who I am. And I'm just, I want that to be, clear. I want you to know that some people are not going to get it. Some people are not going to, some people are going to for sure misunderstand you, going to not really understand if you speak up and you say something, even if it comes from an aligned place, there may be somebody who's not going to take it the right way or the way that you know in your heart who you are. And just what I want to offer is it's okay to be in that space of that's just what happened. I made a post or I spoke the truth and it didn't land in the ears of this person. What do I know to be true about me? And coming from a place of love towards you, never lose love towards you, but also be really curious about is what this person saying, is there some truth to it, or do I know where my truth is, who I really am? Because you don't have to take on the backlash if you know that is not who you are. But also you want to be curious. This is the balance, right? This is not simple stuff. You also need to have the balance of being open, right? Open to some of the things that you may not know. And this comes from my own experience in having been in the arena and really coach myself through it. It's there's so much space for us to have love for us in understanding, have curiosity towards what do I know, what do I not know, questioning. It's have I learned enough yet? And even if you've been doing it, if you're educated in the topic or not, this is an opportunity for all of us to open up to what we don't know, right? There's what we know, then there's what we don't know, and there's what we don't know that we don't know. There's a lot in there I don't know that I don't know. And it's we're gonna feel really uncomfortable discovering what we don't know that we don't know, because it's just there's a whole other world that I didn't know about. And it's okay to have love and compassion for yourself as you learn, and have compassion for everyone out there who they are, even if they're throwing horrible words at you, which has happened to me, and it's they're going through their own pain, they're going through their own experience, and we have to hold space for all of it, and we have to be open and willing to listen, because at the end of the day, the only way we're gonna get through this, and the real reason why I believe this is going on for us, especially COVID and then this, look at one thing that all of this has done is bringing global awareness to all of us. We're all interconnected. This is not like a one city, one thing happening. This is all of us. The whole world is coming together. And it has to be jarring for everyone to listen, because otherwise, if it was nice, it just wouldn't. People are just we're too consumed in our own lives to pay attention. Listen, I have to raise my hand first. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be focused on my business. If COVID wasn't happening, if it was happening in like China only, I probably would have been like, okay, ignore, next, right? I had to come home. It had to hit home for me to be like, oh wait, imagine for so many people out there, we're all in our own lives. We only care about us until something. It's not a bad thing, right? This is just the way the human brain is like looking at like everything through life. And so it had to be this big for all of us to be like aware of each other, aware of what's going on. And the dust is going to settle, both COVID, like all of the things that's going to happen around the world. Who knows when? I don't know when. Nobody knows when. But it's going to come. And the only way we're going to come out of this is, or get through it in a way that's going to create momentum and change, is coming together and having compassion and having love for each other and creating understanding. And so the earlier you can hold space for that, for all of it, the better, because you're going to feel less pain, less suffering, less resistance, and you're going to be open to it being messy and it being difficult and being confronting, and that's okay.
Yeah, it goes back to that acceptance. Like that was the beginning of the process for me, was just
acceptance.
Everything that is happening right now is okay.
Yes.
Just breathing. Everything that is happening right now is okay. You got to start there. And not okay in the sense that it's right or that an injustice is not an injustice. Is that I can't fight physically, or like, I can't fight the reality. And so you accept the reality and then you make a conscious decision. And for some people, if the reality is that I don't know something, accept that. Like, don't go out with that excessive guilt and that, oh, I don't know. I just woke up this morning to this reality and that I wasn't aware of what other people's experiences. If you accept that, and you can, like you said, love yourself, you can be like, okay, now I'm just going to fix it. And you consciously choose your actions. Oh, I haven't been globally aware of problems in other countries and other people. Okay, that's cool.
Right.
Let's fix it.
Oh, I love that. That's it. That is it. And the rest, like, I want to amplify that just quickly, like bookmark it, write it down. I want to write it down. It's like, because it's really how I process all of this too. It's like, world is on fire, essentially, literally my city around the corner, on fire, Chicago, on fire, shootings, everything. I'm like, okay, this is happening. Things are going on in the world. Accept it, right? It's not like it's right or it's wrong, it's right or shouldn't, like, no, it's happening. Yeah, this shit is going on. Now what? Like, what do I want to think about it? How do I want to feel about this? And it's okay, whatever process is, but like accepting it, you guys, is gonna really open you up to like not be in this hole of like, oh my god, fear and despair and like, oh no, this shouldn't be happening. It's like, yeah, it's happening, it's finally happening, it's for sure. Like, accepting it. From there, choosing, because then you want to be in your power. Like, we are so powerful that we're giving our power away to like the other people. It's like everything that's going on in the world. We let it drain our energy. And it's like, wait, why? Like, what do I want to do about it? For me, for my business, for myself as a human, for my community, for my clients, for what I know it's within my power, so that you don't lose yourself in the chaos, and you come back to you and you channel your energy in the things that you know you can move forward, like your business, your relationships, the things that are immediate to you right now. And from there, you get to choose. Do I want to show up and sell? Do I not want to show up and sell? It's okay. It doesn't mean that because you're not selling or showing up and marketing yourself and being courageous and processing your emotions and all of this, like Sade is doing right now, which is such an amazing example of what's possible, doesn't mean that if you're not doing it, you're wrong, or like you're not playing full out. It's like your way of processing is whatever is for you. And like what Sade is sharing right now is such a powerful perspective to be, okay, one of the ways that I want to take action and move forward and make an impact is showing up and selling, right?
Right. Yeah. And there is that people pleasing / gaslighting dynamic that goes on, and it goes on with everything, right? So what happens is like you're like, okay, this is how I want to show up. Right? And then you assume that everybody in the world is going to say, oh, that's lovely. Look at how you want to show up. It's so beautiful. Right. No, that's not going to happen. It doesn't matter which way you choose to show up. there's always going to be somebody who thinks the way you're showing up is not
Terrible.
the right way. Right? And if that, depending on that person's thoughts and their personality, they might come to you and tell you that your experience isn't correct, or what you're not thinking or acting on isn't correct. And that's where you have to be like, okay, no, I consciously process things. I made this choice.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going to own this experience, and I'm going to own whatever result comes from it.
Yeah.
Instead of people pleasing and then immediately like changing everything because somebody said something.
So big. I went through my own people pleasing. I just want to offer this briefly. Like, I felt so much pressure. Like, you have to say something. 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 You have to. And I got coached on it. And it's like, if I say something right now at the time, it would be from a space of people pleasing, not from a space of authenticity. And it would totally come off as like like a lot of people are doing that. Is like, I have to write something. I have to feel bad. I have to just post, right? Just so that at least it's on my wall. And it's like, it's not going to make a difference. People can totally feel that is not authentic. And so it's about really understanding, where are you people pleasing, but also where are you avoidant, right? Because it's like you want to confront. I had to confront, like, what do I want to say about, like, what do I actually believe? And my opinion is not necessarily, like, my opinion is that we get to market and sell throughout this time, right? And it's not necessarily the most popular, right? And my opinion is that instead of talking and adding to the noise, is that we can just be proactive and taking action towards the causes that are going to make a difference. Also not very popular with a lot of people, because a lot of people just
want... Or my side, which is, I'm going to do both together in the same pot and mix it all together.
Right. It's like all of it. It's like your own recipe. So we all get to have our own experience, but just know that even the coaches you admire, even the people that you look up to, are also figuring out and processing their own emotions through all of this. So it's okay if you feel that way. We're just reminding you that you have choice over how you want to show up in this situation, and it's okay. Like, don't feel like if you mess up, and that's okay. You're not gonna die.
That's okay too.
Yes. Okay. So tell us how all of this relates to relationships, because for people who are watching, and we know you're an amazing relationship coach, so tell us about how navigating a toxic relationship, because this is toxic social media we have here, so it's literally the same thing. So I love that analogy or connection. Tell us a little bit about that, and how people can learn as they navigate not only their relationships on social media, but new love relationships. Right.
So it's interesting, because I know we talked about it earlier, was that the landscape is exactly the same, and the answer is exactly the same. So like my clients will often tell me, I don't want to go on a dating app, or I'm tired of the dating apps because it's just a mess. One person said it's a cesspool. Like, the dating apps they're just a cesspool. Like, there are no good guys out there. It's horrible. People just do this. People just do that. But yet, in the midst of that, all of us know people who have met their soulmates on the same dating apps.
Yes, totally. Tinder.
Everybody knows multiple people who have met the most wonderful. One of our mentors met her now fiance on Tinder, right? And I was just like, wow. Yeah. So it's all in how you think about it and how you choose to show up, right? Mm-hmm. The same process. Okay, dating online is a challenge, just like marketing in COVID, just like marketing during, racial injustice. The first thing you need to do is like, okay, this is okay. There is the possibility that I can meet someone that I really love here. I was coaching a client this morning, and I said, if there was a stadium where they were going to put in 500 people, 500 potential men, do you think you could potentially find one guy there? She's like, oh, of course. I said, do you think you can find 10 guys out of that 500? She's like, yeah. I said, your dating app is exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
If there are 500 guys on there, you could potentially meet
totally
5 to 10 guys. It's all in how you decide to show up on the app, how you decide to process those numbers, right? How you decide to call in those 10 guys and repel the other 490.
Totally.
Right? It really is you understanding yourself, understanding the message, understanding the partner you want, and then literally putting the call out on social media, on the dating app for that person. And then, of course, along the way, just like with marketing during COVID, which people said nobody should be marketing during COVID, marketing during crisis, people,
right.
People, you're going to meet some guys on those dating apps who are going to be like, they'll blame you for their bad behavior. They'll they'll send you an inappropriate picture, and if you say, well, that's not okay, then they'll be like, well, it's your fault because whatever. Or you'll start talking and they'll be rude, and you'll be like, why are you being rude? And then they'll be like, well, it's because whatever. The same gaslighting, the same backlash. And every woman who's been on a dating app has experienced this, where the guys just act weird, or they just ghost you, or all kinds of things happen. The mindset is exactly the same, where you're like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm choosing to do and be. This is the result I'm working towards. And all of this noise from these guys is just part of the landscape.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Nothing has gone wrong. Like,
nothing has gone wrong.
It's part of it. It's part. Oh my God. I'm just getting, for everyone who's watching this, we're talking about relationships here, right? But I'm hearing everything through the lens of marketing and sales. Or everything you're saying, it's like, this is exactly how you find your ideal clients. You go out there and you show up as you choose to show up as whoever you want to show up in your brand. And then the 90% of the people are going to be like, no, thanks. And then there's going to be like 10% that's going to be like, I'm interested. And then there's going to be 5% that's like, yeah, I love you. you're my ideal coach, right? It's the same thing. And in showing up for relationships. And I think the added bonus here is, like, we're talking about it in like a crisis, like COVID, marketing and selling in COVID, and social injustice. And then also, but also, like, how do you date in those times? And there's always just this like landscape of like, some of it's going to be terrible and not ideal. Not all of it's going to be rainbows and butterflies, and that's okay. It's part of it. Are you going to, now what? Are you going to continue, or are you going to be like, no?
And I think for the rest of our lives, that's what the landscape, and I think if when I look back at my life, I'm like, well, the landscape has always been rough. Basically.
Yes.
And it will probably could be rough 50% of the time forever.
Totally. If it creates so much freedom. This is why I think you yesterday on our coaching call, like, I was just so inspired to bring you on, because I think it's very easy to forget that like this is the part of life that sucks for all of us, for like majority of us who are like standing in this cause. This is part of the part that sucks. And then there's been part of our lives that's like been also amazing, right? Like days, months, or whatever. We are just right now in the time that really, really, really sucks for the ones that care about this, right? And but you know what? 2 years from today, we'll remember this time. Who knows what's going to happen 2 years from today? Maybe we'll be like having the time of our lives. Maybe we'll be like, oh, all of us reunited as one, whatever. I don't know, like what's going to happen for the world, but it's going to be in a different flavor of it. And that's just part of both relationships, right? And part of the world, part of marketing and selling. Like there's all these, there's always both sides. And it's just the people that are going to have, they're going to come out of this with power and strength and like, with power and strength, I would say, are the people who are open to all of it. It's like, yep, I'm open to it. Let's go. Like, bring it.
Right. I'm ready. I remember when you asked me what my goal was, what I wanted to do. I'm like, what? We said I was going, this is my launch goal. It's still my launch goal, and that's still my launch date. I'm like, I'm not moving anything. Let's do it.
Yeah. You guys, yesterday, I'm like, I was prepared for Sade to be on our coaching call and to be like, I need to process some shit. Like, I really need to. I don't know if I can do this right now. I don't know if I can, it. And you're like, what? No, let's go. Like, I have a goal. My business is still here. My goals are still very much alive. I'm not losing sight of that. I'm going to continue marketing and selling, showing up, being a leader. And she's such an amazing example of self-leadership in your mind and in your actions, and continuing to stay committed to your goal while also being able to support what she believes in. Because you can totally have both. You don't have to choose. It's not like one or the other. This is a conversation about both. And I'm so happy you came on here so that you can share with people your take, because it's so empowering. Such a beautiful perspective. So
thank you, Julianne. I really appreciate it.
Oh my God, of course. No, I mean, girl, like, it's super powerful. Okay, so tell us about your challenge that starts next week. Very important for everyone who liked what we talked about today. Sade's way of seeing the world, coaching. You want to listen to what her challenge is about.
All right, so I am super excited about this challenge.
Yes.
It's a dating challenge. It's a 5-day dating challenge. I am going to help ladies. So this is for ladies only, and it's in my group. Really stop the pattern of like toxic relationships. If you've been like dating and like every guy out there seems kind of weird, there's something kind of off, or they start out seeming good and it's like a good guy, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work out. They're emotionally unavailable. They're into weird stuff. Listen, I am going to take you in 5 days to being able to truly you're going to understand exactly what you want. I think part of the problem is that we don't always know what we want. Right. Like really, truly, deeply knowing what you want, knowing why you haven't been calling that in, and then giving you like the exact steps you need to take to bring that partner into your life, both online and in real life. Like it can be done. It can be done.
Can totally be done.
I did it. My clients are doing it. And I believe you can do it too. Like literally, if I could find a guy in semi-rural Missouri who was like my dream guy.
Yes.
Like my dream guy. Like anyone can do it.
Yes. Megan says, oh my God, I want that. All right. So yes. What's the name of your group, Sade? Let me.
It's called Plan B.
Plan B.
Fearless relationships for women, I think. Fearless women navigating marriage, divorce, and dating.
Marriage, divorce.
And it's in my bio. It's in my Facebook bio.
Okay. So it's good. I guess that's the easier way to do it, right?
Yeah. And be fearless women navigating marriage, divorce, and dating.
Seriously, I have to just say to everyone that Sade is an amazing relationship coach, right? She's a wonderful coach. Like if you just want, like, her being in her energy, like you just get to understand so much about your thoughts and your feelings and how to process emotion and how to decide, like how to get what you want, like in the form of a man, right? But it can also be applied to in the form of your business, in the form of your goals. So of course we're focusing on relationships, but if you just want to learn powerful thinking that is not very, like, it's not readily available, especially right now. I love that you're continuing this challenge because people can just really plug into up the mindset and your energy of like just how you think about like problems, toxicity. You can relate this to like crisis in the world. So I just want to invite everyone to really, like, who's interested in this, join her group. Totally amazing. I love her as a coach. She's amazing. I mean, you could just see her mindset.
I love you too, Juliana.
I love you. And we're gonna come and do another client spotlight series in a couple of months when she quits her job. And which is like basically you could have done it like a long time ago, but we're sticking, you've like made so much money, you could have totally done it a long time ago. But we're going to be telling you about her entire launch, how it went, how she reached her goal. It's going to be amazing. So I am so excited. April says, I come from semi-rural Missouri and went to college in Tennessee to find my soulmate from semi-rural Missouri.
There you go. I thought I was going to have to move. I was like, I am out of here. There's nobody in this place.
Oh,
but
my God.
Changing my mindset. Like, totally. It was incredible.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Well, anything else you want to offer, Sade? Anything you want to share with us? You have the floor.
I just want to say, like, and I know this is kind of cheesy.
Okay.
But my experience from being coached, learning to coach, training as a coach, and coaching is that I've realized that everything is possible. Literally. And it's just like, that has been like my personal coaching journey with Juliana, with my other coaches, with coaching as a concept. I'm just like, oh my God, like we can literally do anything. And I am like riding that wave in like every area of my life. So I just want to say, for anyone watching, like, and you're like, there's this gigantic problem in my life, like hire a coach. I don't care which coach. Like there is just, everything is possible. Like, and we're going to see it. We're going to see it in the next few years, just what's possible when you really take your brain and you begin to understand how it works and channel it, which, you're teaching me that with sales and marketing. I'm teaching my clients that with relationships and with their careers. And it's just, I'm excited to see what's coming. That's what I want to leave with.
Oh, I love it. And Natalie says Juliana and her clients always crush it. I love you. So good. Everybody, Natalie records the most amazing hypnotic tracks to like basically blow your mind and hit your income goal. So reach out to her.
I attest to that.
Yeah.
I have her back.
She's amazing. And I just briefly, I want to tell everybody really quickly about your transformation. You started, how much money did you make last year?
$1,750. $1,750 as a life coach.
Okay. And then how much money have you made so far this year?
$25,000.
$25,000. Just
$25,000.
And she has kids.
And most of that I made in the last 3 months.
Right.
Like May was a $9,000 month for me.
Right.
Right. And then I believe it was either March, actually COVID month was an $8,000 month for me.
Yeah. All my clients had their best months in COVID month. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we started working in February, right? If you guys go on her timeline,
at the end of February,
you'll get to
February
see
20 something.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And since then, it was like March. I immediately went from, I don't know, it was a few thousand in February. Immediately went to 8,000 in March, and then April was a little lower, and then May. So it's like, yeah, I'm like right at that 5-figure. I'm like, all right, obviously my next month is a 5-figure month. Obviously.
Exactly. I love it so much. So we're going to tell you what's going to happen at the end of our coaching together. We'll see. It's all of you who are watching. We'll bring Sade back again. And I'm just so proud of you. You've just grown so much in the last few months, and just how you're showing up for yourself, for your clients. And as a client, holy shit, man. I feel so lucky to have you and to have all my clients. You guys are just like powerful people. So thank you so much for being here. Everybody remember that what she said, when you hire a coach, anything's possible. Just keep that in mind. You don't have to do this alone, especially now. We need support. I get coached too. So it's okay if you need support. And then April says, obviously, 5-figure month. Love it and can't wait to see the update. So good. Alrighty, my love. Thank you so much for being here. Love you so much. Now go plan your launch and crush it. We're going to keep following along. And thank you everyone watching. Hope this was super helpful. If we can help you with anything, just drop your questions and we'll go in there. And join Sade's challenge. We're going to drop the link to her group in the comments. Alrighty, my loves. Mwah! Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.